Notts County Talk. It's not a Thursday and it's not 7:30. Right, mix up, George. We're in all right, pickle.
Throwing them off.
It's a Sunday and it's slightly earlier at 7:00. But we did say at the end of the live phone-in on Thursday that we would have to do a much earlier than usual Pavis perspective. It's episode 74. It's powered by Better Bytes Computers. As always, the link to Better Bytes Computers is in the description. No video this Thursday as neither of us can actually do the video. So this will be a preview for Barnet and for Yeovil. But let's be honest, a lot of it, George, is going to be looking back on what happened yesterday. Absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. I was only watching it on telly, but it must have been immense to actually be there.
It was. I mean, one of the best away ends I've been in.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. Incredible.
It looked it. They did look it.
It was so good. You might see the poll today is who was the man of the match. There's so many people I could have chosen. So many people. We've got Maka in there for his goal. I could have chosen Chickson for his goal. We've got Aaron and Man, who was constantly at their defence all game. We've got Rollo.
Kasper Sloth.
Who put that block in. You love Kasper Sloth, don't you? I mean, you could have made a case for Bostock when he came on, not as man of the match, but I think he was very, very, very good. Jody Jones for the second half could have been in there, you know. Jim, first half, I thought was really good, biting into tackles. So there's so many people we could have chosen. But put your votes in. Who do you think? Sam Slocum, his distribution gets that assist was incredible. Have a vote on that and we'll have a look by the end. This might be the first time, George, myself or you have actually gone with the other option when we do one of these polls. Could be. Let's get to it then. Let's just talk about yesterday because I woke up this morning absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
You know, I got home yesterday, we uploaded the video, didn't we? And I spent maybe 20, 30, 40 minutes just looking through everything on Twitter, seeing people's videos of the game, seeing what Notts were posting, listening to post-match interviews, trying to find the clips of the goals. You're quite a confident fan. Did you think we were going to go there and get the win? Regardless of what happened in the game, like before the game.
Yeah. I think it's a difficult one, you know, because Chesterfield for me are all like recently they're one of them teams that we do struggle against. They've got a good side. They've got a good manager as well, to be fair to them. So I never really go there that confident. Or I never, when we come up against Chesterfield, I never come up that confident. I didn't really think, to be honest with you, I thought if we got a draw, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's a good point, but you know, when you're at the business end of the table like we are, you know, the top obviously still, a point can feel like a loss, and it's sort of hard sometimes to sort of rein in your expectations. But going into this game, I was thinking maybe a draw. There's a lot of confidence in the team at the minute. I mean, the togetherness from everyone like surrounding Notts is just immense. Like you look online, everyone's so happy in it. Obviously, it's got to be, hasn't it? We're top of the league. We're winning difficult games. We're showing we can win it and play it both ways. Like the first goal, you know, it was a long ball, taken down fantastically well, great goal. And then the second goal wasn't long ball. It was a nicely worked goal. So there's got to be a lot of confidence to come from that game, I think.
Have you noticed how many times this season Langstaff has taken like a 70-yard pass down like that? It's not the first.
Yeah.
The first one that I noticed springs to mind. Do you remember York? He didn't put the chance away, but it was very early on in the York game. That springs to mind for me. And there's quite a few other times he's done it. We kept trying it at Oldham away, and I think he took it down but didn't score. So, yeah, I think you're right. Like, we're showing we can do it different ways. I don't know if you've seen the tweets today. Chesterfield fans saying it's one of the quietest away ends they've had this season. And people are biting. That just shows how rattled they are. Like, that away end was absolutely incredible.
They've got nothing. This is the thing. They've got nothing to. They've had a difficult run of it, haven't they? They've just lost 4 on the bounce. You know, they're angry, they're down, and they've got to take their frustrations out somewhere. And it's just probably at Notts, isn't it? and that's where that's coming from. I think
Yeah.
from the TV, the Notts fans were a lot louder than the Chesterfield fans. So
Yeah,
make of that what you will.
make of that what you will. I said, did you think that before the game would get the win? What about when they equalised just before half time?
I thought we were a bit hard done by, to be honest. I thought we just on the whole span of that first half, I thought we were the better side by quite the distance as well for me. We created plenty. We controlled it well, and we just seemed to be able to regain possession fairly well. Everyone was just well up for it, getting stuck into challenges and stuff like that. I thought, yeah, the first half, it was, in my opinion, against run a play their goal, but that's football, isn't it? That happens. But then coming into the second half, I was confident. I felt like we were going to get a goal. To be honest, I thought we could have got one or two more, maybe even three more, but that would have been a crazy scoreline. But yeah, I did. I felt a lot more confident then going into half time. And seeing Dobra obviously hit the floor like he'd been shot when he was brushed up against by Scott, it gives you so much confidence that your players aren't like that. They're going to stand up and they're going to play football. They're not going to. I don't even know what we call it, but they're not going to play those games.
We'll go on to Dobra in a second. I said to Jordan at half time, you'll see that we filmed on the It's All Black and White episode 3. Jordan was with me filming the halftime talk, and I said to Jordan just after, I said, you know what, that goal at that time is probably the best time it could have gone in, because if that went in 2 minutes after we restarted, you've got no chance for Williams' team talk. And I think you go to these games and you're probably going to concede. In a game like this, you're probably going to concede one when you've got this quality of player on the pitch. So the fact that it went in just for our time, I think maybe actually was better for us. I think they got in a fairly few good positions first half, but I haven't seen a team with a worse final ball all season than Chesterfield. They were crosses going out for goal kicks, throw-ins. Quigley, I know Paul Cook said he thought he was impressed with. I thought he was shocking, awful. Got one header on target, didn't hold the ball up. Poor. I like that Akinola, the guy on loan from Arsenal. I thought he was really good. I've seen a few people tweeting that Arsenal have got a star in the making. If you're 21 years old, though, and you're playing the National League, you're not making it for Arsenal first team. No way. If you're doing it at 17, 18, at 21 and you've not broke through anywhere near the Arsenal first team yet, I think one game for Dundee and then 14 for Chesterfield. Very, very good player, and I think he'll be League One Championship level, but I don't think he'll ever be making it for Arsenal. But he looked pretty good. And then Mandeville, you were worried about him before the game, weren't you? He was okay, not much to offer, but they're the three players I thought were decent. Let's go on to that one. That Dobra, I hope he's all right.
Did you see it?
Did I see it? It was right in front of me. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
It was like right in front of me. I couldn't believe what had happened. I don't think anyone saw what happened at half time because that was sort of as they were going into the tunnel. But I saw the one before, and I was just looking at him, and you can tell by the way a player's holding the face. It was the two hands over the face. The push is here. The push is in the chest. I think there should be not just saying this because it was a game against Chesterfield. There should be retrospective action for stuff like that, because it's obvious to everyone that they're not caught in the face. He's done it twice within 5 minutes. Embarrassing! It's so embarrassing. What did you think when you saw it?
It's one of those, isn't it? I think it's frustrating to see it, but in the shoes on the other foot, if it's your player and they buy you a few fouls and things like that. Like I do anyway. I congratulate it to an extent. It's not something that I like to see, but I do think that's the way the game's gone of recent years. If you can buy a foul, buy it.
I get
it's not very sportsmanlike. I get that, but when you're playing your rival and then maybe your player buys a foul and they're making a big deal out of it and they get something from it, you kind of smugly take it, don't you?
I see us buying fouls the way Kyle Cameron buys fouls.
Yeah, and we love it.
I'll take that. But rolling around holding your face when you're pushed in the chest, no way. I wouldn't like to see, our version of Dobra, Aaron the Man, who beats men, or Ruben. I wouldn't want to see them rolling around on the floor.
No,
I think it's embarrassing.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And especially when I saw the replay at half time in the tunnel where Scott brushes behind. Doesn't brush. He goes into him and he's holding his face. Oh, medical staff are like holding Dobra's neck to see if it's like a head injury. Like, get up. Embarrassment. We've got to talk about it as well. You just don't do that, do you, to Notts fans? You just don't shush him.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't do it. I mean, it's. I don't think it's ever worked. Never. Kingsland away.
The only time I've seen it actually pull off is Barrow at home a few years ago. They beat us 3-0.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Scunthorpe way this year happened, celebrating in front of us. Just doesn't work. Doesn't work. Would you? I was thinking this at half time. Does Williams sort of go in and say to the players, "Look, you like rile them up with that"? I don't think he would have. Do you? I don't think he would have even have cared.
No, I don't think he would care. I think he's very much stick to your game. The fluffy stuff in between. You can have all that, but essentially it doesn't help to the result at the end. I mean, maybe it buys you, your fans being a bit more on your side, and maybe some players like when the opposition fans are on their back a little bit. I'm not sure, but I do sort of feel like Williams would probably be a big advocate of not doing that.
No, exactly. I think he would have been like, forget that. I think he was really good as well to bring Kedwin off, because Kedwin was starting to get a little bit close to the edge for me. It was good he brought him off after he got his yellow. I agree with this, and I genuinely agree with this. This isn't from like a tinted spectacle thing of being a Notts fan. Dale says he should have got a second yellow for good in the Notts fans when he scored. You can't do that. You get players booked for that. I know the Chesterfield fans are saying, "Oh, Maka did it." Maka has nowhere else to celebrate. He just runs along the side of the pitch. I think he should have got a yellow. If he wasn't booked already, it would have been a yellow. I actually think the ref had a pretty good game, All we say is we want consistency. And the first half where Aaron Man kicks their player and their player is on the floor and he gives it for a high boot. He did the same in the second half for Notts. He gave us the exact same treatment. I don't mind that. There was a couple of silly things where Jody Jones was pulled back and near the end of the game and it's a definite yellow and he doesn't give it. And the other thing that sticks out was John Bostock in the 93rd minute was pulled back and the ref allowed play on. But other than that, I think he was all right. I think he was pretty good. Yeah,
he seemed okay. I mean, we're going off some pretty poor recent refereeing displays, aren't we? But I think in the grand scheme of things, you're right. You're right. He was okay, wasn't he?
Yeah. Do you think it's good to kick advertising boards when you've just scored? Jeff King does. I think, yeah, good from Jeff King. That I don't think it could be more poetic, like Dobra, who was turned into the pantomime villain during the game, and Jeff King, who the rest of the league don't like. It couldn't have been better, could it? Like, he shushed the fans, Dobra, and then we win. When Jeff King gets 2 yellows, one for kicking the advertising boardings, and the other one is a definite yellow. Doesn't get better than that for me. Doesn't get better.
Yeah, a real sweet moment.
Yeah, what was that thing he said last year about 15 games into the season? It wasn't. He didn't say we're head and shoulders above. He said something else, didn't he? Country mile. Yeah, 15 games into a season. Wow. Wow.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but let's not talk. Let's not talk about their players anymore.
No,
because it's all about our players.
It is. You're right.
So good, so good. I want to pick out almost everyone.
I think the main thing we have to pick out, and the football's there. The right mentality is there for sure. That's it. The surest I've ever been about saying that for Notts. And it's something that I've repeated a lot about the mentality. It's completely different. But the one thing that needs to be highlighted, and everyone can see it, is plain as day, is the passion that the Notts players have. It's unmatched at the minute. I cannot really recall seeing a Notts side. No, I can't. I can't really recall seeing a Notts side this passionate about playing for Notts. And everyone, like, there's a moment. I think it was the Chickson goal. They're all celebrating and they're obviously going mad in front of the Notts fans, which is amazing to see. But then Bostock comes over to Cameron and he's going like this, like, get your head in the game. As soon as that goal's gone in, the emotion's not there for him. He's thinking, we've got another 20 minutes to play. Yeah, we need to keep ahead in the game, keep 100%, 100%. I thought that was very impressive to see.
And he's gone to the right player there, because I feel like Cameron can get emotional.
He can, and he's the captain.
Yeah.
So if your captain's, reining it in, and he's level-headed, they lead by example. So yeah, it's what you want to see. Chickson scores, and he's pointing at the badge, and just everything. Every Notts player at the minute, you just feel like you have a big connection,
Yeah, I do. Like bringing John Bostock off the bench, we've said it before. The right player to bring off the bench. His pass through to Kedwin. Oh my word. It was unbelievable. I think you reckon it was a penalty, or have you watched it back again? You think different? I think it looked, from where I looked, it looked like a good tackle, like he got a foot on the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But it doesn't really matter now, does it? It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And then another player two things I have to pick out is, the video where Notts put on Twitter last night, where it was the players at the final whistle going to the fans. And I must have watched this bit 10 times, where Baldwin goes mad in front of the fans and the whole away end goes mad with him. That's class. Yeah, and then we've had Jody Jones about 20 days.
Yeah.
And the guy looks like he's been at the club 10 years and gone through heartache.
Yeah,
He's got 20 days and he's desperate. I feel like he almost thinks like it's a new lease of life.
Yeah.
Been injured for so long, and then goes to Oxford and it doesn't happen for him. And now he's got a club where he's played the first start in like 1,000 days.
Yeah.
And I won't say I thought first half he was pretty poor first half. Second half, he's twice had 3 players around him, and he did put his foot on the ball, turned. The one where he put Macca through for the 1-on-1 straight after half time. He's taken 3 players out of the game. He stepped up, and he even put on his Twitter that I think he was cream crackered by 90th minute. But
love that.
He was still running around. Like you say, what more passion? What passion? Like, you've got the balance. You've got Chickson, you've got Slocum, you've got Matty Palmer, who, and I will say Macca as well, who are so level-headed. You never see them losing their head ever, do you? And then you've got your Rawlos, you've got your Kyle Camerons, Baldwins, that are, Aaron the Man never loses his head either. You've got all of those that are just like the complete opposite, and it feels like a good balance, like a really, really good balance.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Jim O'Brien, John Bostock, just unbelievable. Yeah. We could keep talking about this. Anything else you think from that game that was just something we have to speak about? The fans would, other than the fans being just
fans, like I've already said, Notts fans were a lot
louder. Did you see what Williams said?
About the fans
post-match?
I probably did. But...
he said it's absolutely. He says it's absolutely impossible to win without the fans. Said you can't withstand that pressure without fans. So we're all together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wayne says Eden has just dropped in. Not sure if you've given Slocum a mention yet. Played well and again got an assist as a goalkeeper. Nothing overly special, but when called upon, he's reliable. Yeah. His distribution's really, really improved, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is really good. Charlie says, out of contract at the end of the season, could we make it permanent for Jody Jones? I think if we go up, I think it's looking a long way in the future, isn't it? 16, 15 years? I think if we go up, we have Jody Jones and John Bostock next year, I think, as in the team.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed. I think Jones, the way he's come in and slotted in like that, and I think Luke Williams has quite a lot to do with that.
Yeah. It's the kind of, he seems to be the kind of person that you'd like to work under, for me.
Yeah,
just on a plain like personality level. You know where you stand. He's very intelligent, obviously. So there's a big attraction for playing under Williams, obviously, at the moment.
I think he comes across as someone that's fair. Like, he'll give it to them at half time at Solihull when it's not good enough, but he'll praise them when it comes to it. Colin says 47 years of supporting Notts, and I've never seen a group of players who deserve promotion more than our current team. Heroes to a man. I know we're nowhere near 47 years of supporting Notts, but I have to agree. There's no one deserves it more. Like, we've said we're up against it with who we're against, but like in the promotion race, but we're just constantly going at it and not giving up. And I feel like now I've seen some Wrexham fans saying the exact things that we've been saying, that Wrexham just are relentless and don't give up. I saw someone put County are relentless. I feel like it's going to go to the last day. Like they're now feeling like we are feeling about them. 4 wins in a row when it looked like we're faltering. Look how big those wins were away at Torquay. Have we just had 3 away games in a row? Is that because Halifax, then it was Solihull, Torquay, Chesterfield.
Yes.
How hard are those 3 away games?
Difficult,
all,
very difficult.
And all 2-1 wins in different styles.
Yeah.
So good. No Ruben there, George, but he played a big part. It looked like, didn't it? It looked like he played a big part.
Yeah. So there's a little snippet came out on Twitter. I saw a little video of the tunnel. I think it was for the second half. And there's 3 players in the tunnel, like jeering on the players, the Notts players as they come out, like shaking their hands, high fives, and all that sort of stuff. So there's Ruben, Toby, and May, the keeper we got on loan from Norwich.
Again,
they're out the squad.
Keeper. Yeah,
they're out the squad, and they're having an impact, and it gets discussed sort of a lot in press conferences with Williams about the players that aren't always in the squad having a big impact, and you sort of think, well, he possibly could just be saying that to sort of, if the player sees it, makes them feel better about the situation they're in. But when you see it firsthand, it's actually true. Like you can see that they're having an impact. They're there to make it work as a unit. They're not there for themselves. Well, I suppose they are to a degree, but it's just got the team playing as a team. And even the players, like I just said, aren't in the squad. They're there for it, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it is. The togetherness is massive. Couple of questions here. We've got one from Dor. Always good to have you with us, Dor. We'll come to you after. Kian, this is like the tricky one to say, but it still feels very early. If we went down to the last day and we went up, who would you want scoring that winning goal? It's so far in the future, but just like I'm not going to think about that too much. But the answer for me would be Adam Chickson.
The winning goal to go up.
Yeah, Adam Chickson. He said he'd missed out on promotion quite a few times, and then the side went up the next season without him in the squad. I'd love an Adam Chickson.
Yeah, Adam Chickson would be good, to be fair.
I think Kyle Cameron would explode. I think.
Yeah, I think you remember the David, what's his name? David Luiz, when he scored that free kick for Brazil. I think something like that would happen if Kyle Cameron scored.
Yeah, but I can't be thinking about that at this.
No, I can't. Oh, it's too much.
Dor, how confident are you in the league with Wrexham on your necks? George, I'll let you go first. I think confidence though would not the word for me. Belief.
No, I'm not. I'm not confident that we're going to win the league, but I'm confident that we're going to give it a good go, as good as anyone else ever could. And I said it before. You've got to take so much pride in the team at the moment, because they're going toe to toe with a team that literally pretty much for this level have limitless money and resources to bring in and adapt to what they need, to what they do. Don't get me wrong, we've obviously got a fairly good budget for this level, but we really are making life difficult in a season that Wrexham probably thought they were going to walk it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel confident, but you go to games, Dor, like last night, and you can't help but think, like, every time something's thrown at us, we're just like
got the answers.
Away. We have got the answers. Go behind it at Solihull and win it. Playing poorly. Torquay, we have the problem of them not getting a man sent off and then they score instantly and sub their player, and that can affect mentalities. Chesterfield, all of a sudden they score before half time, and it's loud when they scored. It was loud when they scored. About the only time it was loud, but it was loud when they scored.
There we go.
So we're doing it every time, but we're not the favourites. And even if we were in this position and Wrexham didn't have games in hand, we still wouldn't be the favourites. I saw one thing from a reporter from like a Bristol newspaper today, and the reporter said he got the facts wrong. He said 18 unbeaten. It's 22, but that's fine. He said something like 8. It should have been 22. But he said all these games unbeaten, and the only thing in the newspaper about National League was that Will Ferrell was at Wrexham. Like, why are we not talking about Notts? And I'm not bothered.
Nothing really against Will Ferrell though, because what a bloke.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Did you see the Wheelstone red card yesterday?
I didn't.
He was on a yellow. Max Kretschmar was on a yellow card, and he went off for a head injury, I think. And he entered the pitch too soon, and the ref sent him off. And did you see what Max? Well, you wouldn't have seen what Max Kretschmar tweeted after a full time. He put just give them the title now. Like, I love that. The Wheelstone manager turned around to Wrexham fans and was doing that. That is unbelievable. That goes back into the Ruben red, doesn't it, of common sense? He's entered the pitch too soon, and you send him off for a second yellow. In the rules, entering the pitch without the referee's approval is a yellow. But come on, last minute of a game. So there we go. That's what you're up against. But no, not confident, but I believe. Let's go on to Barnet then. Something stupid, like, is it like 9 straight wins or 10 straight wins or something mad like that? I'm just gonna have a quick look.
They're on unbelievable run of form at the moment.
Yeah,
which is crazy because not all that long ago they were struggling, really struggling.
So I think 6 straight wins.
They had Harry Kuehl as a manager not too long ago, and now they've won 6 on the bounce.
13 unbeaten in the league, though. Haven't lost since they lost at home 3-0 to Southend on the 1st of November.
There we go.
And we know they're good. They scored 5 at Wrexham. I know they lost, but they scored 5 at Wrexham, which is definitely obviously not easy for that to happen. And Wrexham, Wrexham don't concede 5 at home, so it's going to be hard, really, really difficult. And like Williams said yesterday, if they started the season better, they're up there with us too. So tricky, but I will say we've got out of Chesterfield with a win, and we've got Ruben, who played 0 minutes, obviously.
Yeah.
Coming in fresh.
It's true, yeah. And we've put a lot of these things, we've beat Chesterfield, we were 2-0 down to Chesterfield at home. We pulled it back to 2-2. We've beat Wrexham at home. There's not really anyone that I feel in this league we can't beat, no matter what sort of run you're on or anything like that. So for me, it's just pure confidence at the moment,
Yeah. Chris, in the last 15 games, Barnet's the form table. Barnet have got a point more than us. Yeah, they've got 36 out of 45, and we've got 35. So, tough, really tough. But I think we win purely because I'm a big believer of runs have to come to an end. I know we're on a great run, but they're on a 6-game winning run or something crazy like that. And I almost think it will suit us, a team coming at us to play.
Yeah, for sure.
I think. How do you feel about the game?
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be one of those real. I think it's going to be a difficult watch, to be honest. I think both teams will have their chances, but I do think it's going to be like one of those low-scoring games where it's going to be frustrating to break down. And yes,
I don't know about low scoring. I don't know. In the last 10 games each side have had, there's 43 goals between us. It's a lot. They've got that Nelson's Cabana?
Kabamba, isn't it?
Yeah, Kabamba. Oh, Nicky Kabamba, who scored the hat-trick against Chesterfield days after Chesterfield tried to sign him.
Yeah.
He'll be a threat. He's got 17 goals. 5 in the last 5. So I think we have to talk about that the Tuesday night, though. It's first against fourth. No. Yeah, first against fourth and second against third. Biggest and most pivotal group of fixtures of the season. I think Woking are good. And they're going to go to Wrexham. And this is, so far for me, this is the biggest chance of Wrexham dropping dropping points at home.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, didn't know this. Barnet lost two first choice centre backs. Brennan said they might have to recruit this week to cover. Okay, they've got a day. So interesting. And then Yeovil on Saturday.
Yeah.
Went there last year, was it? Got the 2-0 win, Ruben. I think he netted both of those goals. They sit down in 17th. They've recruited very, very well in January, to be fair. Unbeaten in 3. But one of those was a draw against Maidstone, and they conceded 90+1.
Yeah.
Obviously disappointing. Another's a draw against Wealdstone, and they won 2-0 at Dagenham. But I'd expect us to go and get a win there. I mean, you have to go and get a win there, don't you?
Yeah.
Have to. So that would then, say we got those 2 wins, it'd take us to 6 wins on the spin. And that might not be enough. How many do you think we can realistically lose for the rest of the season? Or how many games we got left? 15. So it's 45 points. How many points do we need, do you think? If you had to put a number on it now, 45, bearing in mind we play Wrexham in that to win the league.
It's going to be like late 30s, isn't it? Probably you're thinking like 37, 38, 39 maybe. There's very, very minimal room for error if you want to, clinch the first place.
Well, we only got 35 out of the last 45, so I'd have to improve on the current form again.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a 6-pointer in there as well, like you say. We've got to play Wrexham. So maybe you could afford... swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Swings and roundabouts, it's hard.
Do you think it's too hard to say now because we don't know. I was going to say, do you think going to Wrexham and getting a draw I don't think that'd be the end of the world, depending on how things are at that point. I think that'd be all right because I genuinely, we talked about it on the phone, and I think our end of the season's easier than theirs. Like, I'd hate to go to Torquay on the last day and need something, because for me, Torquay are going to be looking to stay up on that last day of the season. Personally, I think that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's go for our team then. Let's go for our lineup on Tuesday night. Again, George, you're not there.
I'm
not there. Who am I going to talk to? I had to speak to Will and Jake and Jordan the other day. It's too much.
Mate, I'm sorry. I can't imagine what you're going through, having to speak to them more than once in a week.
If I reveal the substitution, I can't reveal the substitution Jordan was asking for about 60 minutes in. I can't.
Go on.
I can't.
Just say it.
No, I'm not going to say it, but
say it.
It was one of the wing backs to be subbed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's all I'll say. I think if it was up to him, would have finished with like Frank Vincent at wing back or something like that. But he's a great lad, isn't he? Lovely lad. So
he's a lovely lad.
We let him off.
Football knowledge, isn't there?
Ooh, I didn't say that. You said that. I
said it.
Line up then on Tuesday night. I think one thing's for certain. No, I'll say it. There's no way in the world Jody Jones starts.
Really?
Yeah, his first 90 minutes minutes in 1,000 days.
In his words, he's cream crackered.
Cream crackered. There's no way.
You're probably
he
right.
starts.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. Yeah,
because Williams is big on like managing players,
recovery and stuff.
Yeah. So what are you going for?
Jody Jones. No, I'm joking. In goal, Sam Slocum, obviously.
Yeah.
Back three, Rawlinson, Baldwin, and Cameron. Wing backs, keep them the same for me. Chickson and the main.
Tar on the bench, though.
Yeah, get Tar on the bench. Midfield, Matty and John Bostock.
Agree. We agree so far on everything.
Ruben, Scott, Langstaff.
Yeah.
Come on. There we go.
Agree.
Happy days.
Completely agree. That's what it has to be for me. A fresh Ruben is actually, now we've got the win, getting that red doesn't seem as bad. If we hadn't have won, it would have been a nightmare. Because I feel like Ruben, there would have been opportunities, especially when the game opened up, where Ruben could have really ran at Chesterfield. But having him back and completely fresh, and I bet he was absolutely dying to be on that pitch, so he's going to be revved up. I think it'll be good to have him in there. And yeah, like Chris says, Jones dead on his feet. We'll probably see him at the end. Bench for me, I'd see Toby on there, Brins, Austin, Jones, probably Frank. Oh no, Jim. Jim's done enough to keep his place on that bench.
Yeah.
I do think then, I know it depends on result, but any changes you see definitely going into Yeovil? I think we see Toby start.
I think we see Jones come in and maybe drop out, maybe Scott, maybe for him, and Boss. I don't know, difficult, but I do see Jones coming in for that game.
Yeah. I also do see Toby coming in for that game. Right, let's go to the poll then, George.
Go on then, Tom.
I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to take over.
Yeah, go on. I've let you on it.
I've learned 73 episodes. I've learned from you.
There you go. So you should be pretty good at it by now.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, he's shaking.
Here we go. Who was your man of the match yesterday? 15% said Maka. I think that if he scores that one-on-one, I think that's in the 80s. But he doesn't. He misses the second one.
Yeah.
Aaron the man, 36%. Connor Rawlinson, 27%. And other, 22%. Now, I've seen people put in the chat already for other. I've seen people say Jones. I've seen people say Palmer in the chat. I've seen people say Slocum. I've seen someone say Chickson. So you could almost have given it to anyone.
Yeah.
What did you go for?
I'll tell you what I went for. I went for the main.
Did you?
I thought he was class.
He was good.
The guy's unreal. He's quick. He's this. He's that. He's lovely.
There is one thing. And we've been 100% positive, and this is not negative, but it's an observation. And the lads I was with yesterday did have the same observation. He is, and this is. Let's not forget, he is a winger.
That's negative. You're being negative.
Let's not forget, he's a winger, right? Defensively, he's caught the bug off Brindley, hasn't he? The backing off bug. Towards the end of the game, there's 2 or 3 times that he's backing off. And it just allowed them to cross the ball in. There was a couple where they were flashed right across the box from his side. So it's hard. We dominate games, so you don't need your wing-backs to be fantastic defensively. But with him, there's just that tiny bit. And I was saying to Will, I think, could you imagine if we played a formation where he was just a winger?
Yeah,
he's good enough now. Could you imagine that? 4-3-3 or something like that. Their fullback was sick of him yesterday. Well, Jeff King ended up getting sent off. Was that who he was? No. Was he on the same side? No, it wasn't, was it?
No, no.
Yeah. But whoever their left back was a nightmare. And he doesn't seem to lose that. Do you know at the start of the season, we used to think when he got to 60 minutes, he lost the burst of pace, didn't he?
Yeah.
The goals come from that bit of pace yesterday. He's just dribbling past players.
Yeah.
So yeah, you went for Aaron the man.
Yep.
I went for other.
Ooh.
Do you know what? Do you know what who I was thinking? If I was going to comment in here, genuinely would have put Jones.
Okay.
With the context around how long he's not played for and the passion I then saw, and then what he was doing in that second half, I would give second half performance a 9.5 from Jones. First half, I'd give a 6.
Yeah.
And usually that would average out at like a 7.5, 8. But because it was that good second half, I'd bump it up to an 8.5. So, yeah. Robert, Tar is an overlapping fullback and Aaron the man is a right winger. I think you just go home as a fullback against that. Could you imagine those playing on the same side? Oh my word, that would be unbelievable. Even the people on TV say doesn't like to defend. If they're going to score a second goal, it would have come from his side. Yeah, I do think it might have come from his side, but at the same time, he's also he gives that pace getting back. So yeah, it's that's the only slight criticism, but we haven't conceded from it at all this season. So Right, George, score predictions. Should we just go for Barnet first?
Yeah. 1-0 Knots. 1-0 Knots. Matty Palmer.
Matty Palmer. 1-0 Knots. Ruben Rodriguez. Go for Yeovil.
I was expecting you to say a game with at least 2 or 3 goals in there.
Because I did say earlier high scoring.
Yeah.
But I've had to think about it.
Go on. Expand.
And sometimes high scoring teams don't always equal a high scoring game, do they?
Yeah, exactly.
I've had to think, and you swayed me because you're a smart man.
Thanks.
Go on then, Yeovil.
Yeovil, I'm going 3-1 Knots. Maka 2 and Ruben 1.
I'm going 3-0 Knots. Maka, Chickson, Scott. Let's throw this in. Woking away at Wrexham on Tuesday night. What's your score prediction? I'm going 1-1.
I'm going 1-1.
Yeah.
Be nice.
I can't name a scorer other than Mullin for Wrexham. Is that his name?
Mullet.
I've never heard of him. Anyway, let's see what everyone's saying then.
Will Ferrell 90 plus 1.
Diving header. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell overlapping run. Chris says 2-0 against Barnet, Mackerel, Ruben. Can you imagine Will Ferrell overlapping at the man's pace? Alex Young says 3-1. Alex, I don't know why I've said your full name. Alex says 3-1, Notts 3, Barnet 1, Langstaff hat-trick. Oh, I'd love that. 2-1 against Barnet and 1-0 against Yeovil, Ruben penalty. Yeah, I would love that. Chris goes 2-1 away at Yeovil, Jones and Aaron the man. That is Jones is due a goal, isn't he? We've got a 2-1 again, Chickson times 2. We've got 3-0, Ruben and Scott 2. Maggie says that. I think that might be for the home game. Charlie says 1-1, Mullin penalty in their game. Andrew says 1-0 Notts v Barnet and 2-1 against Yeovil. Well, I would like a clean sheet in there, would you, George?
I would.
I've got to put this up. Barnet, 4-2 in the Barnet game, Chickson hat-trick and Langstaff, and 6-0 away at Yeovil, Chickson hat-trick, Langstaff, Cameron and Jones. As always, Callum, if you want, if you're watching this and you want money on, you always follow Callum. Yeah, he's always pretty reliable. Stuart says 2-3-0 wins. That would be fantastic. If you imagine, I don't think this will happen. Can you imagine if we blew Barnet away on Tuesday night and it was 3-0?
It'd be nice.
The statement that would send would be amazing. But our away form's better than home, isn't it? So it'd be interesting. 2-1. I'll put a couple more in there. Kian goes 1-0 Notts and 1-0 Woking. That would be really good. And I'll just throw one more in there. I'll go for Charlie, who's gone Notts 2-0, Maka times 2, and 3-0 on the Saturday game. Scott times 2 and Maka. We will have episode 4 of It's All Black and White out on Tuesday evening after the Yeovil game. It will be a vlog in there and possibly some player ratings as well for this episode. And then George will be doing a reaction to the Yeovil game on Saturday. So still lots to come on the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, we're almost at 2,500. We're thinking, George, aren't we? When we hit that mark, we might start putting plans in for another giveaway.
Yes.
So, we need 6 more subscribers. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your parents, tell your pets. If they're not already subscribed to us, please do subscribe. And yeah, we massively appreciate that. Thanks for all joining us on a Sunday evening. Cheers, Stephen says, good work, lads. Really appreciate that. Conversations have been fantastic to read. As always, hope you've enjoyed our Pavis Perspective, episode 74. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.